Yeah, man.
Led by Admiral Crowdmore, the humans of Kultiris encroached on Durotar, violating the War Chief's pact made with Jaina Proudmoore in order to defeat our command years ago. The human aggression was repelled and Tiragard Keep fell, but recently the Admiral's reserves, led by Lieutenant Benedict, have retaken the keep and once again pose a threat to our homeland. These humans show no respect for diplomacy. Prove your honor and travel south to Tiragard Keep to eliminate the human invaders.
Ah, this is the food Ukor brought to the Valley of Trials. Did they not need it? Well, I guess they like to starve you heroes in training. Build spirit, they say. Thank you for returning the food. I'll stick it back on the shelves. But here, let me offer you some refreshment first. And don't forget to rest here in the inn. You may be a brave adventurer ready to take on the world, but if your energy is sapped, you won't be doing yourself or the Horde much good.
When we arrived, the Razormane Quillbars possessed much of the land and proved a thorn in our sides. Through our efforts, we have driven out the largest part of their numbers, but still they remain well fortified in some areas. It has gone on long enough, however. For our own protection, we cannot allow the Razormane any hold in our lands. Their camps can be found to the west of here. Look for the brambles, and you will find them. Today we drive them from Durotar, tomorrow, perhaps from all of Kalimdor.
Speak, friend. For the Horde. Brawlhall.
Bah! I almost forgot I need to get breakfast ready. Adventurer, get yourself moving and get me some tail lasher eggs. I'll need at least 3 of them if I'm going to have enough for tomorrow's meal. The blood-taloned tail lashers can be fierce and protect their eggs to the death more often than not. They sometimes bury their eggs too deep in the earth to uncover safely. But if you head to the Echo Isles to the southeast of Senjin Village, you can usually find them all over those islands.
What do you need? Go forth to victory. Magraw. Strength. Brawlhall. For the Horde.
What are you looking for? Farewell. Zug zug. Abu. Mukra. For the Horde.
Ah.
Besides the grunts outside, my brothers and I fought at the Battle of Haijong. Any who seek to steal from the bank must face us first.
Be safe.
If we are to make these new lands ours, then we must have places to rest our battle-weary bodies. Lay your axe by the fire and share the stories of your mighty battles.
Farewell.
If we are to make these new lands ours, then we must have places to rest our battle-weary bodies. Lay your axe by the fire and share the stories of your mighty battles.
For the Horde.
Oh, Niffy Pink. Nip Pink. What the fuck call them? What? Right. Alright, it's not fucking instant. I don't know.
Shannon Metro.
Shannon! Holy shit! Shannon, no! No way. Oh damn, no? Fucking A, man. Value is 3 gold. I guess on the auction house. Oh. Yeah. This axe is like this for like my level. Oh, I'm like, what the hell is that all about? server is very strange. But in terms of
Greetings, man.
you know, playing the game, this is the best.
What are you looking for?
I know I have enough. And it's skinny at least. You know what? Maybe, yeah, fuck it. I need gold money.
What do you need?
Zug zug.
Of course, I can't afford that. Yeah, whatever. That's level 3. Things I need. Alright. Let me see. David Patman. Keeps calling the fucking number. Alright. Copying this. There we go. Much better.
Age has rendered me useless in battle. Now, I make myself useful in other ways. From this vantage point, I watch for invaders. As our strength here grows, I find myself blowing the signal horn less and less. To pass the time, I fashion goods to help younger, more able warriors defend our homeland. For you, I can fashion you a bag for your belongings. If such an item would be of use to you, bring me some canvas, a material common to
What do you mean some
humans and
canvas?
centaurs.
What do you need?
Why is a mining pit almost 1 silver when a black hammer isn't?
May your blades never dull.
Can't even mine. I'm so broke. Look at that, right there. Well, I'm glad I kept that damn the axe. So I was like, that's a hunter axe right there. A level 5. Really good one at that. Go ahead, I got the best two-hander I can get at this level. Look at that. Can't really hit him with it, but... Third, okay, what are you? Hardcore? Yeah, alright, fuck you. I'm ass hardcore players. They really should separate the hardcore players from, like, the normal. They're in the lane. Bunch of asshat EU motherfuckers deserve to have their note. Deserve to get punched in their throat. Damn. They toughen these guys up. Classic's not like that, that's for sure. Look, I can't mine, I ain't got no pick. Now I could. Wait, I can go back and get one now. Hold on. Look at that! Okay, not even worth it, really. Right now. I'm gonna try and play the, what do you call it? Maybe I should do both. Spinning and Enlightening. Golly. What's that then for a spirit? I'm gonna sell that. I'm not gonna want to keep that.
Strength.
Alright, give me a pickaxe, thank you, sir.
For the Horde.
Oh man, I gotta hurry up and get back there. The Aquarian's going down. Oh, okay, they got them. They're making the goblins like the original intention of what they had, like Blizzard had in mind for, which was like more of a Asian influence. Which I kind of like. It's a shame they didn't go that route. I think that would have been way more interesting than what currently. Like samurai fucking goblins and shit. Man, and maybe they didn't do that for a reason. Now that I think about it, somebody would have turned around and said, "Well, that they're being racist." No. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how I'm going spinning and mining to make money.
blood and thunder.
Strength and honor.
Yeah.
Farewell.
There we go, now we can do both. Do you know WoW World Chat equals former WoW retail players? Is that like an insult? Used to be an alright server at the beginning, I remember that. Very early on, like 2019. Like, it was a decent server at the most part. The love of me, it'll never go back to that, unfortunately. Too many Russians. Ah. And you called me again. That was fun. Never thought would come out. He's fallen in. don't have it. Absolutely on a week. Conflict. I apologize. I was wondering. I don't coming over on that. Hanging out. I don't know. Not. I'll listen. For I'm saying. Not really. asked you. I asked you. She talked. What's wrong with you? I'm on it for you. No, I don't know. I'm sorry to hear that you died. That sucks. Oh, okay. I don't remember. I don't know. What is it? Okay. I don't know. All things things like yourself. It's every day. Okay. And it's so funny how much community going on. Yeah, yeah. But he was covered by insurance. No. that one. It's all good.
Oh!
I really want to. I don't even want to. I want to know that more. Yeah.
Oh, understand.
Driving me nuts. Right now, I'm helping Stefan.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you go here.
I know they drove. And $1 stay on my farm. I have no. Oh, I told Al asked me on the window. Hold on. Hail to the no. No, no, no. And they ain't dropped the fucking. Are you shitting me? They ain't dropped that once. What world buffs? How come I didn't get one? Where's my world buff at? Why ain't I get one? Whoa. What happened?
Speak, friend.
I want a world buff. Did they not drop it yet? Oh, 2 minutes. Okay. 2 minutes for doing it. I want to read this anyway. Yeah, give me modern. Modern or legacy? Legacy, right? Yeah. Oh. Never mind. It's normal. Where the fuck are the fonts at? Into the no, 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 no. Yeah. Drop that buff, man. Come on. The vouchers are being stingy. Even if my ass, they ain't fucking dropped that at all. Ain't that some shit? They're not dropping that at all. I think I hate about this damn add-on. It's like... It's dropping. There you go, fuck that. Let me see. God damn it. Alright. the fuck is going on? What the hell? How does it make you Miami? No, it's not. It sucks. What in it? Taking a while.
forth to victory.
I can train you in first aid techniques.
Blood and thunder go with honor.
Word of your bravery travels fast, adventurer. Tales of your victory at Tiragard Keep will be heralded in Orgrimmar. One of my most observant scouts brings back word that the wreckage of Proudmoore's fleet still remains off the coast of Durotar, just east of Tiragard Keep. It is no secret that the humans, in alliance with those foul little creatures known as gnomes, have an advanced knowledge of mechanics. We must have a complete understanding of all our potential enemies, and our people will benefit from this new knowledge as well. Swim through the wreckage, adventurer, and retrieve for me the tools of the Alliance.
Loktar, most excellent adventurer. Any good adventurer will surely find a use for this bag on the battlefield. I salute your vigor and willingness to die in the name of the Horde.
Hey man, I'm alive. Come on. That's funny. The hell? There we go. Fucking A.
demise. His reign won't even die with Benedict, it seems. Who knows how long it will be before the next waves of Proudmoore's men land upon our shores. We need to get these orders to Vol'jin in Orgrimmar immediately. He can be found in Thrall's chamber.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Fuck me up. Oh, they're not the right ones anyway. Damn it. I know. Far away? Anyone doing the same fucking quest I am right now? Damn it for that. Oh shit. Are you shitting me? Asshole.
When I face my face. Oh, begin for me. My face.
Loktar.
This does not bode well at all. You were wise to bring this information to my attention.
Humans cannot be trusted. We fought alongside them with a weary heart, knowing they would betray us one day. Admiral Proudmore's death was not enough to stop what you legacy would receive. The human scum had his plans well laid out before he ever met his demise. His reign won't even die with Benedict, it seems. Who knows how long it will be before the next wave of Proudmore's men land upon our shores. We need to get his orders to Vol'jin in Orgrimmar immediately. He can be found in Thrall's chamber.
May your blades never dull.
Oh shit, I don't have the fucking quest. What am I doing?
What can I help you with? Let's see.
Your recovery mission was a success, adventurer. I will see to it that these two hit Orgrimmar with the next caravan. Nicely done.
over the ridge to the west. Last night, while they were raiding, I snuck into their village and discovered that the dirty beasts had a three-tiered attack planned on the trolls and orcs as well. We must have a very brave through it. Perhaps you must be done.
Come get defeated.
Into SEC. I go, wait, no, I'm the FCC guy, not the SEC guy.
Right. There's a new organization after you now.
But it kind of made it look like I was, guilty of something.
I thought you were the new Martha Stewart.
And that's what everybody thought. Then I go downstairs, and I'm walking out of my building, and there's a post reporter going, what's going on? And then this guy snapping photographs of me. So I was like,
Burning
oh,
blade
man,
is not
what is
seen
this?
here in
And, you
Sanctuary.
get crazy.
But their evil
It
has
was
taken
embarrassing.
seed off the coast on the Echo Isles. The orcs
I
are
don't know.
friends of the
So
Dark
the
Spirit.
bottom line was the
Honorable
SEC is
friends,
doing its job. There
we
was
want to help the orcs.
evidently a spike in
We need
the
help too.
sale.
The witch
I think
doctor
the
Zalazan
stock
dwells
went
on the
up
Echo Isles
before I
to
made
the
my
east.
announcement. So
They are the isles
they
we
have
once
to
called
check out.
home.
Did
From
somebody
there
have
he sends
insider
his trolls to the
information
mainland to hex our
about-
people and
Stay
drag
away
more
from
of
the
them under
voodoo.
his sway.
Of course,
He
I
must
know
be
about it,
stopped.
but
Defeat
But you're not an
Zalazan and his
insider, you're the
minions.
person.
All the Dark Spirit trolls
but
now
they
lost
have
to
to
us.
check with me out.
Bring
They
me
have to
his
check
head,
a whole
and I
bunch
will
of
know
people
his
out
reign
and
of
find
evil
out
is
did
over.
anybody.
We at Senjin
plan some
Village
sort
are
of
not without our own troubles, and we
mastermind
thank you
plot.
for your aid.
But the funniest
But the
thing
news you
about
bring
it-
regarding the
I'm a
burning
really
blade
honest
could
guy.
be
I just wanna
trouble
go on
for
record and
everyone.
say that.
There is,
I wouldn't know
although-
how to mastermind anything.
Right, but the funniest thing about it was they were questioning Chauncey Hayden.
I know Chauncey was me, and I guess Chauncey went to the paper because he got subpoenaed, and so then my picture ends up on the cover.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Chauncey made a call.
Yeah, Chauncey called the post.
Right.
So,
Yeah, because when you read it, it was a non-story.
Right.
It
well,
was
and,
just like...
and by the way, I never would have had my picture in the paper if it wasn't for my man there,
Helping you
helping
out.
me out with his one-man publicity wave.
He's stepping out.
Yeah, he's stepping out wave.
Stepping out.
So,
Step in front of a bus.
that's what happens when you hang out with kooks.
Well, that's what I said. I said,
Yeah.
this is the funniest. If it wasn't like blasted in headlines like this is the funniest thing.
Yeah, well, it wasn't fun for me because,
I'm just saying that Chauncey said, oh, I got a story.
like, my...
Yeah, got subpoenaed.
Yeah, but anyway, so I just want to say
You haven't done anything.
I haven't done anything. I swear.
That killed me. I saw the well,
You really do hate being married, don't you?
Who is that?
Sal, man. He wrote this song. I even said to him, it's too strong. Sal. I said, Sal, you wrote this song. It's called Beat My Wife. And like I go,
Oh
Sal,
my
I
God.
don't believe in beating women. I'm not going to, but it explains the level of anger. You want to beat your wife.
Well, there's a lot of conviction behind it. She definitely motivated it. So I don't want to beat her. I don't believe in beating women, but these are fantasies that go through my head. Sort of like
Right.
Robin wants to be raped by Brad Pitt.
What happened with the
She'll never
pocketbook
do it.
thing? This is why you're pissed off now?
So on Thursday before we left, you played clips of my wife yelling at me behind her back.
Right.
I secretly taped them. So On Demand called me and said, can we play it on the TV? We need Christine's permission.
Right.
So I called her, and the negotiation was, I can play it on TV as long as I buy her a pocketbook.
But it's the way.
Good God.
Fucking Chloe bag, dude.
Chloe bag.
How much is that?
$1,400.
Oh, my God.
And
Is that when you wrote this song?
yeah,
I mean, honestly, I don't like, beat my wife.
Yeah,
but
well,
it just shows me how angry you are.
just a parody. It doesn't mean anything.
It means something. It's the thought you're having.
Hmm.
I wanna beat
Thinking about it.
my wife, throw her down a stairwell.
Oh my God.
I want to punch her till she shits out her bones.
See, I mean, that scares me.
Shits out her bones.
Shits out her bones.
Wow.
And I said to Sal, can't you change the lyrics to this song to be a little less harsh? And then I went, well, why am I changing? This is how Sal feels. Maybe I should play him for you.
As exact words, and these are my convictions.
Right.
Oh God.
Dear God, I can't take her. I want to decapitate her.
Oh God.
Like a bowling ball. Beat my wife.
Ah.
It's OJ's favorite song.
Yep.
Man, you really angry, dude.
You know what? I just hope nothing ever happens.
I'm depressed. I'm not hangry.
Yeah, if anything ever happens to that woman, I know where I'm looking.
Well,
In a hole, in a shallow grave.
I can see this being played in court.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
well,
take care.
sorry you're in such hell, bro.
It happens.
Yeah. Happens to a lot of people.
Good luck with you and Beth, though.
Thank you. Don't turn it on me, dude. All right.
You turned it on yourself.
All right. Speaking of songs.
Back vibration.
Yeah, Scott, go ahead in Bridgehampton. I mean, in Binghamton. Sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Howard, what's up? 11-year listener here, man. Love you guys. Hey, this Patterson guy, once he gets governor, is he going to bang all these hot chicks, you think? No?
Think all the hot chicks he's going to get.
Yeah.
Governor Patterson.
Well, Spencer leaves all those numbers.
Now, hope you're going to leave your little black book with that, what was the name of the hooker agency?
The Empire.
No,
What was the Emperor's Club?
Look at her. I hope you're going to leave me the Emperor's Club number.
Don't take what I'm about to say out of context.
My first act as the governor, I'm going to make Black History Month 3 months. I ain't going to Jew down those hooker girls. I'll tell you that. There you go, Sal. You can write that bit. With your black accent.
I'm going to revive Tookie Smith.
Now, if you want the hookers to be Jewed down, vote for Spritzer. But right here, this black brother is going to give you full price. You ain't going to be taking the slow train to Washington, D.C., sweetheart.
Who's it going to take in a revolution when the race war happens?
Yeah, fuck Amtrak. I send you by Greyhound.
Oh, God. This is not age well at all.
Pardon OJ.
First of all, OJ wasn't convicted.
Yeah, I know. That's the other thing. For what?
Right.
Sal's new theory is that Barack Obama's going to get in and pardon OJ.
Oh, God, it wasn't even that old.
The greatest thing ever.
Like, if someone says that around you, you'll
So you're never going to be friends with him. He's retarded.
Yeah.
Right.
I know a stupid person.
Now, let's say he pardons OJ.
What? What the fuck?
That's something.
I got
All
news
the
for you.
things
We
he's gonna
got news for you. With a white president, we already pardoned OJ.
All he's going to do is pardon OJ.
OJ wasn't even Trump.
No, nothing.
That's what we're saying. Clinton didn't step in and say, no, put him in jail.
Yeah, then we have to wait. We have to hope McCain then gets elected so that he can put OJ back in prison.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What can he do to help the black people? He can pardon OJ.
What a retard.
That's the biggest retarded statement ever.
Really? It's wrong on so many
Aren't
levels.
you taking it out of content?
I mean, it's wrong and stupid on layers and layers of levels.
There's a million ways that's stupid.
Yeah. Sal might have just said the single stupidest thing I ever said. Because it's wrong for so many reasons.
No, he just stole it from his father.
What if Obama gets in and makes crack free for children?
Because that's a
Oh,
black thing.
shut up.
Now forget Iraqs. I got to legalize cracks.
All right. Cracks is now legal.
Oh, I'd kill to have a conversation. The conversation.
Okay.
And lock up Sal Gabbanali and his father.
My father finally said something intelligent. What's that sound?
Yeah, after all these years, it happened.
After all these years,
He
after
said
meeting
that,
with the local-
look who Obama married. He's going to choose the black side. And
Do you think your father's a racist? No, he's just old school.
No, he's old school.
I got news for you. I've
He's
seen
old broke when he lynches
No,
people.
he describes his father using black lingo.
Yeah.
hey, Ken.
Howard, I've been listening for 20 years. Please tell me it's a bet that Sal is really not that fucking.
No, he's really that out
We
of it.
only wish we had made that up.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, you know.
News, Elliot Spitzer steps down and we bring you to a live press conference with new New York Governor David Patterson.
Governor, step to your left a little bit.
Okay, to my left.
Governor, approach the podium.
Okay, approaching the podiums. Well, hello there, people of New York. It bees an honors and a pleasures to be yours new governor.
Governor, look out!
Whoops! Whoa!
comes the big rib joke.
He got pulled a rib.
Like, how is that funny?
Him and Richard. No, I think it's good to end it on the rib thing.
He's the new Al Jolson.
How is that funny?
The black impression is right on.
And the governor doesn't keep walking. Why does he fall off the stage?
Yeah.
I don't hear any
Although he
footsteps.
said, also he says approach the podium. Where would the podium be? Does he go to the right? Does he go to the left? Does he walk
Well,
forward?
they had him walk to the right for a second.
They
And
said,
then
no,
walk
go to
forward.
the left.
Or whatever.
But then now approach the podium. But where exactly is the podium?
First of all,
Don't continue to hear footsteps.
Right.
First of all, the black stuff is that he's got bad grammar. Sal has bad grammar. The blind joke is that he falls off the stage. Sal has sight, and Sal
All right,
has sight, and he fell
I'm
off
only
the
running
stage.
out of time for the news, Robin, so I
I know. It's just, I thought of that too. I mean, that's Sal's act to fall off the stage.
That's right.
Maybe Sal's part black.
All right, people are weighing in, of course, on the scandal surrounding our governor. Last night, right away, he was the subject matter of the commentary of the late-night talk show hosts. Here's David Letterman, not wasting any time, 4-3.
He got right on it, huh?
Here's what happened. It was one of those sting deals, and they caught Spitzer, Governor Spitzer, with a wire recording him soliciting a prostitute. And I'm thinking, holy cow, we can't get Bin Laden, but by God, we got Spitzer. We got Spitzer.
All right.
And Letterman got to this joke in his rap last night as well.
I've been thinking about something. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's too soon to be hitting on Mrs. Elliott Spitzer?
That's a good one. And I say no. I think it's time.
And here's number 3.
Imagine she started going out with me. That'd be a great story, huh?
Number 3 of his top 10 Elliott Spitzer excuses.
Whether it's a hooker or your wife, you're always paying for it. You married fellas know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Artie, you should date her. What's her name again? Sida?
Silda.
Silda, listen, I've been to whores a lot myself, but you could cure me of that.
Silda, my name is Artie Lang. I work on the Howard Stern show. I could be an excellent stepfather to the girls.
Yes, I'm 40, but I look 50.
Yeah. You don't have any dogs, do you?
What you need is a young toy boy like myself.
Yes.
You could say to her, I'm 50 sit-ups away from a gorgeous body.
From the body of a young Elliott Spitzer.
All right, here's Elliott Spitzer with his wife standing beside him, apologizing.
I'm surprised
to her
she didn't
and the public.
just start hitting him over the head with a piece of bread.
1-3.
Where's Sal's bread?
I apologize first and most importantly to my family. I apologize to the public, whom I promised better.
You know what? A great opening line would have been, ladies and gentlemen, I am not a gay American.
He surely isn't.
I am definitely not.
I'm no homo.
Ever I see?
Here's the government, here's the governor saying that he has to regain the trust of his family.
I'm disappointed. And
if I was his wife, I would have picked my dress up, pulled my panties down, and go, okay, who's going to get this first? Yeah.
Failed to live up to the standard I expected of myself. I must now dedicate some time to regain the trust of my family.
Oh, man, that when politicians rule it.
Good move.
She should do the...
And,
Senator.
Good balls.
She should have done the Gina dance right there on the stage. Gina dance.
Again, yeah, Ted Kennedy's got to be like, no bridges around to take Kristen over.
No one ever heard from my gal.
Loose lips, Everett. Thinks chips.
Yeah.
Now, yesterday, of course, when he ended that brief statement, he did not take any questions, but he indicated that he was going to be around for a while.
I do not believe that politics in the long run is about individuals. It is about ideas, the public good, and doing what is best for the state of New York.
Be careful, Governor. Don't fall off the stage. I broke a rib.
Oh, my.
Almost immediately after...
You realize the rest of his life, if he does stay with his family, it's going to be like, look, everyone, I'm reading a book. I'm not fucking any horse tonight.
I mean, that's true.
Over here.
Come on,
I'm home.
What do you think Kobe Bryant's life went to? I mean, he got that $4 million ring for that broad.
Yeah. Here is James Tedesco, who's a New York State Assemblyman, saying that the governor must resign.
The governor who was going to bring ethics back to New York State, if he was involved in something like this, certainly that's he's got to leave. I don't think there's any question about that.
All right.
So a lot of people are saying, get out of here. There's no sympathy for him on Wall Street.
I have sympathy. My brother John was president, and he would fuck fellas at the Mayflower Hotel in Washington, D.C.
Where he waged a battle to end corruption there. Here is an investor who says
he failed at it.
I would drown Silda and Kristen.
He knows a lot of
the
people
brake line on the car.
on Wall Street who are not sympathetic to the governor's current situation, for one.
Wow. Who is this again, Robin?
An investor on Wall Street.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, Wall Street doesn't like Spitzer.
The people on Wall Street are not unhappy about Elliot Spitzer's situation. I think in the end he's led a double standard.
This investor says Governor Spitzer may face the same type of charge that he brought against others.
To the extent that he's making moral allegations against other corporate entities, I think that perhaps there is something ironic about that. He should kind of look to clean up his own backyard before pointing the finger at other people.
You know, I never had to be a governor. I went straight to Senator Ted Kennedy. I never had to take a lesser office. Because of my name, Kennedy. Now there is the dream of him being the first Jewish president.
I think that dream's out the window.
The Horde would surely prevail if the Kolkar centaurs were to attack. But by preventing such an attack, we have spared our mighty warriors unnecessary bloodshed. And as sure as there is sand in the Tanaris desert, we know that there will be blood spilled before these trying times are through. You have served your people well, adventurer.
New Jersey Governor John Corzine is weighing in on the prostitution charges surrounding his New York colleague.
Yeah, what's he say?
In a statement, he said he was completely shocked.
Well done, young one.
Well done. To a prostitution ring. He said the allegations are, quote, completely at odds with the man he knew.
Yeah.
So I guess Spitzer had a lot of people hoodwinked, not just
They
Stilda.
changed
Or
the way
Tilda,
that looked.
whatever name.
How you doing, man? Where's Sal's bit about Spitzer being maybe the first Jewish president?
Who did he choose? Whose side is he on? He married a Baptist.
You know what he's going to go for, right?
Oh, I heard a dreidel.
They're saying that this...
Oh my God, he's such a turd.
What happened?
He's such a douchebag. It's unbelievable. And I love Sal, but boy, oh boy, it's just every step of the way. Every time I try to love him, I can't. So, you know, Beth and I had that fight. And,
Did Sal put in his 2 cents here?
Well, wait.
Oh, no.
Let me tell you the whole thing. You'll love this. So,
Are you kidding? He got involved?
No, Beth and I had the fight. Beth didn't hear the radio show yesterday.
Right.
And, you know, so...
Oh, no.
So anyway...
Like, you can't wait. What did he
So
do?
I was out all day. I had stuff to do, and I didn't get home till about 5:30.
Right.
Because we had a screening of Star Trek, which I'll talk about later in the show. And, you know, I don't want to get sidetracked with what I thought of the movie.
Right.
Suffice to say, there's a 5-star review in the paper today, and I don't even think that's enough stars.
I know. They ran out of stars.
It's like the greatest movie I ever saw.
It's the greatest sci-fi movie for sure.
It is, yeah.
It is so good.
I'm glad, because JJ's a good guy.
If I could have last night strangled Sal, I would have, but he was nowhere near me. I just went, he's such a fucking shit.
Enjoy the Star Trek review.
He's such a fucking shithead.
What happened?
It's like he's an incredible shithead. He's dumb and he's a shithead, but he makes those great phony phone calls.
Every time you think he's finally righted himself and sort of figured out things, he shows you that he really hasn't.
Well, what is one of the qualities you need? First of all, to make
he's
those phony phone calls, you need to be funny. Sal's funny. But you also need to be a little off, man, because you gotta be a pain in the ass jackass.
But he knew even like Auschwitz teeth would be funny. Like,
I know, yeah, he's a funny guy.
There's some intelligence behind those.
He knows something.
Yeah,
I understand.
Anyway, so I had a long day, and it was kind of weird because, you know, Beth and I really did have our first fight, and it was so weird as the day went on. Like Beth, you know, had written me a note. And then after the show, I wrote her back a note saying, you know, I said, this is just, she had apologized to me. She said, you know, I'm never going to ever let my, you know, my limited knowledge of computers ever get in the way of our relationship. She goes, I just got frustrated and I'm writing this book and I just got frustrated. So, you know me, like during the show, it was like, I want to tell her what she did wrong and blah, 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 and rub it in. And afterwards, I just wrote her and I said, you know, I feel awful too. I had a terrible night. I couldn't sleep. And I didn't tell her I jerked off, but, you know, and
no need.
I said I couldn't sleep.
Sal did that.
Yeah.
And I feel really sad that, you know, we had our first fight. And so, and then during the day, we were writing each other's other notes. She goes, I'm not going to go to Star Trek. I have some stuff to do. She wants to look at this lamp she wanted to buy for the apartment. And I said, okay. You know, she goes, unless you want a divorce. And I said, no.
God.
You know, we were having jokes, and everything was back to normal, and everything was fine. And then I came home, and I saw her, and...
Isn't it great in a relationship
you know,
when, unless you want a divorce, it's still a joke?
Right. Yeah.
That's a good time.
Yeah. So, you know, and then we kissed hello and all that stuff, and I wrote JJ a note about Star Trek as soon as I got home, and then Beth and I grabbed some dinner. So we're at dinner, and it's really lovey-dovey. It's like, oh, it was so silly. I said, you know, all I wanted to do, honey, is help you. And I said, I look at disappointment in your eyes. And she says, enough already. We don't have to talk about this, blah, 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 blah. So we're sitting at dinner, and she has her phone there because she's waiting for, this is again with the book, she had a message she was waiting for on a text message. Well, all of a sudden she goes, oh, I just got an email from Sal.
Oh, no.
I go, what? So all of a sudden he goes, so here's his email. I said, you
like in the evening, it pops into her.
while we're eating.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is late in the day.
Everything's been great.
Everything's great. We decided not to talk about the fight.
God.
Everything is calm now. It's like it's over.
How could he
She hadn't
be
heard.
this dumb?
She hadn't heard anything on the radio. Nothing tipped her off. It was fine. Everything was just great, and we were sitting there and having, you know, talking about our day and talking about things that we needed to talk about. So then Sal's email comes in, and she goes, oh. Did you discuss this on the air? I go, what are you talking about? He goes, Beth, sorry to hear about the save option. He's talking about, remember she...
yeah, right.
Yeah, the whole argument was about that I went to save her document, the Microsoft Word document.
Yeah.
I hit save, and then, you know, it didn't save.
Right.
And she blamed me. Beth, sorry to hear about the save option. One time I was editing a movie for my son's birthday, and the same thing happened to me. I'll give you some advice that has worked well. Put a Post-it note that says click save and stick it on the corner of your monitor as soon as you sit down for your projects. Not only will it help others, but it serves as a great reminder to yourself to click it for your work too. Good luck, Sal. So now my fucking head is steaming hot because I go, first of all, she goes, what did you say about this on the radio?
So in other words, in her mind, one of two things has happened. You've either talked about it on the radio or discussed it privately with Sal.
No.
The latter's not
it was
an
obvious,
option.
Yeah, she knows the latter's not an option. And then I'm sitting there going, she starts to get angry because, and I start to get angry because she didn't hit the save. Forget her hitting the save. I hit the save. So he's basically saying I did something wrong. I forgot to hit the save button. Now I said to her, isn't this fucking ridiculous? This fucking moron
Who knows nothing
about what happened, didn't even listen to what I said on the radio properly. I hit save 900 times. The save didn't work. The save function didn't work. Now Beth's getting heated up.
Oh, no.
I'm getting heated up. I go, that fucking jackass doesn't even listen to what the fucking argument's about. He's basically saying I didn't hit save.
Right. Nobody hit save.
Yeah. Why? Can you leave my wife alone? Can you leave my life alone? Can you just stay out of it, you fucking idiot?
No
and then
one
you brought
else.
it up.
No one else did this.
Why do you have to write her?
One person.
And I didn't tell her I discussed it on the air. I didn't want to get into it.
I was just trying to be nice. That's all.
Yeah, but Sal, I told you we hit save. That wasn't the problem. You can send a Post-it note to your.
Well, Howard, if you click save, hold on, Robin. I'm sorry.
Sal, both my wife and I watched each other hit save. It was because it was embedded in a Lotus Note that it didn't save.
Okay,
but retard, here's what we were talking about now all over again because of your email.
But it was with good intentions.
If you want to do good intentions, give me
Okay, I'll give you the
note,
advice. But you don't
okay?
talk to me. She does.
And then write me a note, because I'll just take it and delete
Wait a minute, Howard, you're missing something.
You won't save it?
No.
You're missing something completely. Sal's life is a wreck.
Right.
He doesn't have time to deal with anyone else's life.
Well, then Beth got heat up. She goes, you know, not to say anything, but isn't it great how Sal wants to help me out after he was the guy in some comedy club fucking calling me names and calling me an asshole?
It's called moving on, and we're getting along great. And
well,
she's been great to me as well. She's
do me
been
a favor.
contributing a lot of work.
Don't help her. Please.
All right.
It's just amazing out of all the people in the world who you want to help. You want to help her.
I want to help both of you.
Do me a favor. I got it under control.
All
that
right.
was the point. Your message was retarded because in light of what we said, it wasn't that we forgot to hit save.
Right.
Save wouldn't work when it was embedded in a Lotus Note.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I hadn't either. That's why I thought I saved it.
Right.
But the whole point was I came into the room and hit save like 20 times before I closed it.
But you have to admit it.
Stop! Don't write my wife.
I'm not.
Stop it.
I'm telling you something else. You have to admit that.
But your note is exactly what I'm talking about. It misses the fucking argument. We hit save. It wasn't a question of hitting save. We hit save 50 times.
I got it.
It wouldn't save. I know you've never heard of it because you're a fucking genius. You fucking cocksucker. Stay out of it.
But why are you involved in their lives anyway? No one else here thought to write them a note.
No one else here cared enough.
Business.
All I know is
it's none of your business.
First of all, Sal, Doug
You
Hurwitz,
care.
Doug Hurwitz wrote a note. John Hine wrote a note. Guess who they sent it to? Shithead. Guess who?
You.
Right, not Beth. They send it to me.
Well,
That's who you're dealing with. That's
and what
who
I did
you
was,
deal with.
I deleted the message because, again, we didn't want to go back and find the document. She had redone all the work.
Well, I won't write her anymore. And I'm sorry.
Thanks. You know what? Guess what? Guess who doesn't write your wife? Guess who? Who am I thinking of that doesn't write your wife? Right. You know why?
Why?
It's none of my fucking business. Stay out of my business. I don't want you in my life.
Okay. I'm not
I'll work
really in
with
your
you,
life.
but I don't want you in my life.
I just did
I'm sitting at dinner. I got the whole thing done, and then your email comes in.
Hey, you got to admit, though, it's your show. You did bring it up. 20 million people.
I brought it up, and you didn't even listen. That's what's even more insulting.
Because I'm busy doing
It wasn't
things
about hitting the save button, shit stain.
That's what originally caused the whole argument.
Sal.
I know. I get it completely, and I won't
you're
write
so
it.
brilliant. You put a post-it on your computer. You're such a genius.
I'm not
She
saying-
hit save 50 fucking times, and so did I.
Wow.
Wasn't a problem with that.
You know,
Don't forget to hit save. We hit save.
You know what reminds people to save stuff? The word save.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I said. Put the word save.
Yeah, but the word
Sal,
save is on the computer.
we did, but Sal, the issue wasn't whether we forgot to hit save. We hit save. We hit it 50 times. We were so paranoid about closing the document.
I'm with you,
And guess
pal.
what? I'm
And I
eating
felt
dinner.
bad.
I'm past it, and your email comes zooming in, man.
And it was just a nice gesture.
Yeah, and you want to know
It
something? It
wasn't
wasn't. Number one, send it to me.
I
Don't
will.
write my wife. You don't have a relationship with my wife. My wife thinks you're
Well,
insane. She wouldn't be around you unless I give her permission
That's
to,
true.
because she said to me, tell me, is it okay to go near Sal? Is he fucking insane? I go, he is fucking insane, but you can do this.
Thank you.
I know about this, and there'll be plenty of people around. You're like a caged fucking monkey
Well, I wouldn't go
who
that
I would
far.
keep in the cage and throw some peanuts to. Stay out of it, man.
All right, man. I just
Stop
felt bad.
writing.
You had to, you know,
If you would
You
listen to
didn't
what I
feel
said,
bad.
it had nothing to. Your advice had nothing to do with what we were arguing about.
You're
and what
just trying to
happened.
insinuate yourself in his life. That's exactly what you're trying
Would
to do.
you do me a
You
favor?
don't give a fuck.
Would you go
This
over
is
to-
coming from somebody who took advantage of an $800 bottle of wine.
Yeah,
What advice have you given them to save their fucking marriage?
Oh,
To take that bottle and bash it over your head.
why would you know about saving a marriage, you asshole?
Their marriage is in trouble, Sal.
Sal.
What would you know
Believe me,
about
it's the
that?
first sign.
No,
It's the
Sal, they're
first
not in
sign of
trouble.
many.
Sal, put a post-it.
Oh, my
Sal, put a
God.
post-it note on your computer that says the word asshole on it, and that'll remind you every time if you think you're not an asshole that you're an asshole.
Sal, if
I'm
you-
gonna send that to your wife.
Great.
Sal, if you had called me last night and told me you sent that email, I would have said, okay, this is what you have to do right now. You have to send Benji an email begging him to be late tomorrow.
Right.
But anyway, no, Sal, seriously. Can
Of
you,
course,
can you not
absolutely.
no, please just don't send her any email.
Not one.
If you wanted to do shows in the
through you.
hallway,
Goes through
send
you.
it to me,
Everything through you.
or have Doug Goodstein do it, okay?
Okay, not a problem.
All right.
Show in the hallway.
Write a post-it note on your computer that says, save my marriage. I mean, this thing comes
He's
in.
going to help you out.
Oh, my God. It was like...
What
and
guy?
and then I go to Beth, I go, that fucking jackass is writing you a note how you should put a post-it that says save. And I said, and I saved it. She goes, I know you did. I saw you do it. I said, and now he's giving you advice that has nothing to do with even what I said. It was crazy. I was going berserk. I said, I got Sal.
What human being doesn't know the line between, this is a show, and that's a real marriage.
Yeah, well.
And you don't mess with it.
It's a very creepy metrosexual thing to do. What guy writes a note to a woman saying,
not a metrosexual.
It's Sal.
It's a Sal
It's Sal
thing.
trying. It's Sal trying to get in.
I don't want to insult metrosexuals, Robin. You're right.
Sal still wants to get tight with Beth, and he somehow
that's
thinks
what I'm saying. It's crazy.
It's going to lead to him hanging out with us in the apartment watching TV.
She's got to change her email. And he can't have it. That's the only way he's never going to send her email.
No, if he sends her another email, I'm getting rid of him.
All right. Well, Sal, remember that, man.
Benji's late. I'm throwing him out of the studio, and Sal's off the show. I mean, it's insane. He's so annoying, and he's so helpful.
And this is late in the evening, so he's been thinking about this all day, how to get himself involved.
A helpful tip would be to write a save note.
Hello, Beth.
Hi, Beth. One of my ideas is...
He's probably overdoing that.
Guess who?
It's Sal.
Was, actually.
You know what? I mean, in some weird way, Sal wants to be the emotional friend to Beth.
Absolutely.
I know you're
Oh,
fighting,
shut
but
up.
maybe some common sense.
I'm the shoulder, the strong shoulder for you to cry
Here's a strong shoulder for you, Sal, and I'm going to take it because my fist is attached to it. I'm going to put it down your throat.
Beth, here's another reminder. Put up a post-it that says, "Save my marriage."
Right.
Because it's in trouble.
He's going to help you out. He can't help himself.
Yeah.
He's going to help you.
So you're just trying to be a nice guy and help out?
It was just a simple piece of advice. It was so simple. They got into an argument. It was over a save option or whatever. I said, hey, because I've been through
he's
that.
right. You should have shut up.
You know what? You put save. When you're working on a project, you put save. And that's it. And that turns into it's my fault.
Now, why can't Howard see that you were just trying to be nice?
Because Howard's a miserable guy, and he has
Oh,
to find his whipping boy for the day to take all his anger and aggression out on, and it's me. It's the nice guy who cared enough to write down
Oh,
a
no,
letter
you're
and
playing
say,
the
hey,
nice
here's an
guy,
option.
huh?
That's all it was. It was a sweet little gesture. That's it. I mean, it wasn't malicious. It was a nice little tip. Tip of the day by Sal Governale.
Gary got me all worked up again during the commercials about Sal.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He goes, isn't it interesting that Sal only emails Beth like... He says, first of all, you let him... Sal said something when you were yelling at him this morning that went right over your head. I said, what did he say? He said, well, you won't answer my emails, so maybe Beth will.
Right.
And then...
I'm like, how
she
does it...
shows you. And then,
Absolutely. It's all about getting involved.
and then, And then Gary said to me during the commercial, he goes, it's really interesting. He doesn't email anybody else's wife on the show. He doesn't email Mary.
No.
And even Jason said, like, Sal's on this one's Facebook and that one's Facebook. He doesn't talk to any of the wives.
Right.
He's on all their Facebook. Only Beth. He's focused on her.
This has nothing to do with anything but getting closer to you.
Yeah. And then, of course, he wrote that ridiculous email last night, which I won't go into again, but it was just fucking absurd.
It's so obvious what he's up to.
And you could care less.
There's no goodwill there.
No.
He's just wanting to be in your life.
He's such a suck-up. And then, of course, he has to send an email about...
How dare you want to be in my life?
So I can start the whole conversation over again.
But we've talked about how inappropriate his friends are in his life.
Right.
He would like to be that for you, an inappropriate friend.
Yeah. Well, I just as soon fire him, so I don't have to have him anywhere near me.
He'd like to be your Achilles heel.
Sal, why do you write my wife? You don't write any other women who are married to any guys on this show. I really don't get what he's up to. I want to know what his fantasy is. What's the fantasy? Why do you write my wife? You don't write any other wives. You don't write anybody's girlfriend.
I don't know anybody else's wife.
Yes, you do.
I know.
You went to Jason's wife's. You went to Jason's.
Oh,
wife's
come
wedding.
on.
I've
no, you haven't.
Emailed Jason's mom.
Howard, you spent a week in Europe with my wife.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah, how come you never write
don't
her?
write her.
I don't have her email address.
Yeah, okay.
I did send her an email. I sent her a picture of her and myself together at Jason's wedding.
Right.
I email your wife. I email your
Leave
wife.
my wife alone.
I
She's
am
not
gonna-
interested in you. We get the emails from you.
That's
We
in
laugh
your
at them.
head,
no,
not
we
hers.
laugh at them. Do you notice all of her answers are one word? Great. Nice. Thank you.
That's because you're next to her.
No.
She just wants to pacify.
She wants nothing to do with
pacify. Okay, let me say thanks to Sal.
Do me a favor. Honestly,
I'm going to leave her alone. I said it. I know you're paranoid. You're a lunatic.
You're so not paranoid. It says you said. Well, you won't talk to me. Maybe she will.
No, that's crazy.
You said that today.
Well, yeah, that's true. You don't reply to emails. You don't reply. You're very rude that way. It bothers a lot of people.
I reply to emails that are about work.
Right.
That's strictly for work, my email. I told you that.
Yeah,
I don't want to have a personal dialogue with you on my email.
That's fine.
So you want to write about work, I'll talk to you all day, and I do. I answer every one of your emails.
That's true on that case, but Beth was kind enough to do a couple of things. We're moving on.
No,
and
she was kind enough to do it because I said, it's for show in the hallway, it's for the TV channel.
Right.
Please do it. And she did it for me.
Yeah.
Not for you.
Okay.
For me.
I just did it was a little helpful thing. I just gave her an option.
So your idea that if you can talk to her, you'll somehow get through to me on a personal level is absurd.
You're thinking that. I don't think that
you
at all.
said it this morning. I never thought of it till today because you put the thought in my head.
Well,
you said, quote,
both of you, yes.
You won't answer me, so maybe she will.
That's true. You probably
So you're
wouldn't
using her to get to me.
Well, I kind of felt bad for her. You were the one flipping out yesterday, and she didn't have
felt
her.
bad for her. Okay.
And I'm stuck.
She's doing just fine.
Okay, I know
You
she
don't
is.
have to feel bad for my wife.
God bless her.
All
She's doing
right,
great.
good.
All right.
Point is, you don't even like her. You said
No,
shitty things about her.
that's in the past.
And
For
now
you
you're
to
busy
regurgitate
emailing
that
her.
is wrong.
She regurgitated it. She goes, it is interesting that Sal writes me, chooses me, when he's saying shitty things about me.
Have we all not had our differences and moved on?
Okay,
Yes. And I'm doing that in my life too.
Good.
And I'm not emailing her anymore as a courtesy.
You know
to
what? First get your wife
Never.
to talk to you, and then talk to my wife.
That's another story. Don't worry about that. I prefer she doesn't talk to me. It's much better.
I prefer my wife doesn't talk to you either.
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Well, me and wives don't mix. Let's just leave it at that.
Good.
The only way Sal's never going to email Beth again is if Benji marries Beth.
Here's the weird thing. Richard and Sal think that somehow I'm against them. I hired them.
To be against them.
I like those guys. I like what they do. If I don't play something, they go into a major tailspin. If I don't like something they do, they feel threatened. They feel like their jobs are on the line. They think
Artie doesn't get yelled at for sleeping. They get yelled at for working.
I don't even know what they were talking. Artie was tired on the air. He didn't ask. I said, go take a nap. I thought it would be funny to hear Artie nap on the air, and Artie complied.
Artie gets to run after girls and ask for their phone numbers. They can't approach the guests.
Well, there is a pecking order. There is a difference. Artie, first of all, has been with the show longer than them. Number two, Artie had a major show business career. Sal was a stockbroker, and Richard was working. I wasn't even working. Artie had a major show business career. When I first met Artie, he was a guy, an alumni of Mad TV. He was on the Norm Show.
Dirty work.
He had appeared in major motion pictures, but but not some kooky independent.
They were studio movies, sure.
Studio movies. He is a different guy on the show than Richard or Sal. Yeah, that's true.
Why can Teddy get the phone numbers of girls and he can't ask for an autograph from Ace Frehley? Come on.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, first of all, I get. Guess what? And Benji brought up this point. It was an excellent one too. He said it jokingly. I get paid more than them too.
Right. There is a difference.
Of course, there's a higher. In any job you go to, certain people have different privileges because either they're there longer, or they have a. If you were gonna, I'm higher up on the food chain.
How
Sure.
do you get to sleep on the show?
Because there's comedic value out of it. Howard makes.
Don't argue with me. I'm just taking their side.
Speaking
God
of
damn it, Robin, not you.
I do want to mention too that Andrea, Miss Howard Stern, and we think fell asleep during the wrap-up show.
Oh,
Listen to
really?
yeah.
See, when I watched it, I sort of felt bad for her on some level. I could see that she was a pain in the neck to you, but in the reality show, she sort of portrayed where it looks to us like all she's trying to do is help you. I didn't get the side of her where you guys are talking about that she's just using you. I just saw her just trying to help you. She's trying a lot.
Did you just fall asleep?
Andrea, I gotta tell you something.
I'm saying she's a whining crybaby.
Can you imagine? She just like kind of.
Wow. She just blanked out for a
Yeah.
second.
Well, here's Sal and Richard carrying on about Artie and me.
I've been a little gun shy coming on the wrap-up show. I haven't come on in 2 weeks because I feel like every time I say something, Gary always disagrees with me. If I say the sky is blue, he'll go, "No, it's not. It's orange, asshole." That's how I feel, but I think I'm overreacting a little bit because I spoke to Gary.
I disagree with you on stuff in general. It's not just in here. No, but I'm not like bullshitting. When we're out there and I talk to you, I'll say to you, Sal, I disagree with you, or I think you're wrong on that. You don't get mad at me out there.
No, but I'm not even mad. even on here, I just decided not even to come on, like, because I'm not mad at you. I'm like, you know what? It's sometimes it's just tough for me to get my point across with Gary. But we do feel, Richard and I feel that when Artie's in here, you have a tendency to really lean on him and coddle him. You do, Gary.
Now, what do you mean by? See, that was one of the things I don't. What do you mean by coddle him? Like, I do. I could say this is what I could say. I lean on him when he's in here to be part of the show because again, we are filling time, so we're taking calls, but Artie can help fill the time. So that part I agree with, but I don't know what you mean when you say I coddle him.
90% of the time, no matter how crazy or whatever Artie's saying, you always seem to agree with what he's saying. And it's hard to come up with, like, right off the top of our head specific things, but there are, it just seems like a lot of times, if Artie's arguing.
Musk vs. Trump has officially gone nuclear with a third party being introduced, Epstein accusations flying, and MAGA eating itself over broken promises. Trump promised 90 trade deals in 90 days, but he's only got 2 so far, and his newest announcement has the stock market dropping. At least 91 are dead, many missing, and more rains on the way in Texas, and the blame game has officially begun as early reports show this could have been prevented. Then why TikTok, as you know it, might be disappearing in the United States soon. We're talking about all that and much more on today's brand new Philip DeFranco show. You daily dive into the news, starting with this. We need to talk about this crazy news with Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Jeffrey Epstein, and the America Party. And let's start with the least controversial but still very
Is that what he's calling it? The America Party?
Musk polling his followers on whether they want one, and you had 1.2 million votes cast, and 65% said yes, leading Elon to proclaim by a factor of 2 to 1, you want a new political party and you shall have it. When it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the America Party is formed to give you back your freedom. Now, as far as party's platform, the details are still foggy, but you could probably expect a heavy emphasis on reducing the debt, deficit, and government spending. And then beyond that, you also had Elon saying that it'll include modernizing the military with AI and robotics, promoting tech, accelerating AI, reducing regulations across the board, but especially in energy, promoting
tech bros are trying to get their fucking
legalism and pursuing centrist policies everywhere else. He's also gone on to say things like the Second Amendment is sacred. When asked if the America Party will embrace Bitcoin, he replied, fiat is hopeless, so yes. So technically speaking, you know, Elon has a road ahead of him to make this a real thing. First of all, to register as a party and get ballot access, he's gonna have to jump through a web of state and federal rules, including onerous petition signature requirements. So there you have Elon saying not hard, to be honest. Then he'll need to recruit candidates and build support, which some are skeptical that he can actually do because right now the party's constituency doesn't appear to be well defined. With Elon just saying that it'll represent the 80% in the middle. And then finally, and probably the biggest thing, is that he'll have to overcome the institutional resistance to third parties that's just baked into America's political system. Because unlike parliamentary systems where small parties can start off by grabbing just a few seats and building off of that, our system, it requires candidates to win outright majorities before taking power. Though there you did have Elon laying out his strategy on X, explaining the way we're going to crack the uniparty system is by using a variant of how Epaminondas shattered the myth of Spartan invincibility at Leuctra. Extremely concentrated force at a precise location on the battlefield. With him saying that one way to execute on this would be to laser focus on just 2 or 3 Senate seats and 8 to 10 House districts. And adding, given the razor-thin legislative margins, that would be enough to serve as the deciding vote on contentious laws, ensuring that they serve the true will of the people. But as many have noted, that is a strategy that could backfire. Because if a candidate for Elon's America Party runs but falls short of winning, they could act as a spoiler for the Republicans. And in fact, that was the prediction of his own AI Grok when somebody in his replies asked it to respond with it saying, creating an America Party as proposed by Musk amid his Trump feud could splinter the GOP vote in swing states. In 2026 midterms, it might tip close House Senate races toward Democrats by drawing disaffected conservatives. And adding, for the 2028 presidential, a third-party run could spoil electoral college outcomes similar to Pro 92, favoring the non-Trump candidate if it pulls right-leaning independents. Success hinges on ballot access and funding. But unsurprisingly, you have Elon disagreeing with that, writing, the America Party could soak up a lot of the existing Dem base that feel politically homeless / hate extremism. And then also reposting Scott Adams, who wrote, if you are an analogy thinker, you compare Musk's new America Party to Ross Perot's third-party run and conclude it is bad for Republicans. But that would only be the case if Musk someday backs an America Party candidate for president, and I don't see that in his plan. If Musk only backs individual senators and representatives for his new party, as he has hinted, all he does is give Republicans a new way to get past politics to solutions the country wants and needs, such as deficit reduction. Though notably, there Elon himself noted that although the focus for the next 12 months is on the House and Senate, back backing a candidate for president is not out of the question, which, is probably not something you want to hear if your name happens to be Donald Trump. And so unsurprisingly, you had the president unloading on Truth Social, writing, I am saddened to watch Elon Musk go completely off the rails, essentially becoming a train wreck over the past 5 weeks. He even wants to start a third political party, despite the fact that they have never succeeded in the United States. The system seems not designed for them. The one thing third parties are good for is the creation of complete and total disruption and chaos, and we have enough of that with the radical left Democrats who have lost their confidence and their minds. Republicans, on the other hand, are a smooth-running machine that just passed the biggest bill of its kind in the history of our country. It is a great bill, but unfortunately for Elon, it eliminates the ridiculous electrical vehicle mandate, which would have forced everyone to buy an electric car in a short period of time. I have campaigned on this for 2 years, and quite honestly, when Elon gave me his total and unquestioned endorsement, I asked him whether or not he knew that I was going to terminate the EV mandate. In every speech I made and in every conversation I had, he said that he had no problems with that. I was very surprised. With Trump then going on to say that Elon asked him to Isaac Min, who's a close friend of Elon, as NASA administrator, though Trump eventually pulled the nomination, claiming that he had learned that Isaac Min previously donated to Democrats, and added, I also thought it inappropriate that a very close friend of Elon, who was in the space business, run NASA when NASA is such a big part of Elon's corporate life. But there, according to New York Times reporting, Trump was actually informed about the donations prior to nominating Isaac Min and only pulled the nomination after the feud with Musk. But then, as far as Elon, you had many supporters saying, no, the reason that Musk is doing all this, it's not because of the EV mandate, it's because of this big ugly bill. It's exploding the budget, which was a huge reason that Elon got involved. And then as far as Musk himself, he shot back in another flurry of posts, though this time it was about something a little bit different, and that was Jeffrey Epstein. Right in that, because Axios just reported that a 2-page memo from the Justice Department concluded that there is no evidence that Epstein kept a client list, blackmailed powerful elites, or was murdered in prison. But then releasing both raw and enhanced videos purporting to show that nobody entered Epstein's area of the prison the night of his death. And then the memo wrapping it all up saying that no one else in the Epstein case will be charged and no further disclosures are warranted. All of which is a massive sharp reversal for FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino, right? Both of whom openly question the official narrative on Epstein as political findings before taking office. So, a lot of people, they just have no idea why these men would suddenly change their tune, right? Having no idea who might benefit from this being put to bed. A true mystery, some might call it. No, but of course, the big elephant in the room is the accusation that Trump is somehow implicated in the case and that his White House is covering it up, which, is something that many Democrats have long suspected. But then Elon Musk threw gasoline on that fire last month when he claimed that Trump's name was indeed in the Epstein file. Though he later deleted that post and expressed regret, saying that he went too far. Now, apparently the gloves are back on because he's been going off with posts like, what's the time? Oh, look, it's no one has been arrested o'clock again. Then reposting another user's statement that if the entire government is protecting pedophiles, it has officially become the government against the people. And then sharing a meme parroting the Trump administration, saying we will release the Epstein list, we just need more time. Then the Epstein list is on my desk, and then there is no Epstein list. With that, seemingly referring to past statements by White House officials. Some, like Alina Habba.
We have flight logs, we have information, names, that will come out.
And others like AG Pam Bondi.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files.
And then regarding Attorney General Pam Bondi, you had people pointing to that stunt she did a little while back where she gave 15 right-wing influencers binders labeled the Epstein Files Phase 1, which, turned out to just contain nothing but already publicly available information. So this latest memo has left a lot of people in MAGA world feeling completely betrayed. People posting stuff like, we were told to be patient, that justice was coming, Pam Bondi should resign or be fired. She lied. This is not justice. You have prominent Trump ally Laura Loomer writing, who releases a statement about the Epstein files on the Sunday night of 4th of July weekend. Someone who doesn't want you paying attention. And as the right took shots at one another, you also had Democrats taking the opportunity to stoke divisions on the other side. For example, Representative Eric Swalwell posting, why is Trump hiding the Epstein files from him? Any of you clowns who went to the White House earlier this year to play a part in Trump's circus want to wager a guess? And then adding, no one who has walked Earth is more litigious than Donald Trump. If Trump is not in the files, he would have already sued Elon Musk for saying he is in the files. The absence of Trump's legal actions speaks volumes. But then also, as this news has been coming out, I was very interested to know what your thoughts were, and so I put a poll out there, and it found for what may be the first time ever, almost all of you were pretty much on the same page, with 96% of you responding that you do not believe Trump's Department of Justice here, right? And only 4% saying you either believe it or aren't sure. Though that was in a post, so not necessarily representative of all of you.
Yes,
so I'll
you have something to report? Well then,
what are your thoughts with everything that we're seeing in these latest updates? But then next up today, say goodbye to TikTok, as you know. That is the message that Americans are receiving right now, because its parent company, ByteDance, has reportedly now working on a new U.S. version of the app ahead of its expected sale. Because, you know, the Trump administration, they've been kicking the TikTok can down the road since back in January, and its new divest or face a ban deadline is September 17th. And now what you're seeing is that reports are saying that TikTok will launch its new U.S. version by September 5th. And if Americans want to use the app for the long term, we're going to have to download this new one, because the current version of TikTok is slated to stop working in March. Or at least I'll say that's the schedule and timeline that they're working with now, and that could change. Now, apparently, ByteDance referring to TikTok internally as them, so the U.S. version of the app is currently dubbed
For your first
M2.
assignment,
Notably,
take
the
this
news of this
taming
spin-off
rod
that comes as
and
Trump's
use
been
it to
insisting
tame
that
a
a deal for the
dire
U.S. to
mottled
acquire
boar.
stateside operations
You
of the
can
app is
find
pretty
them
much
quite
done. With Trump
close to
reporters
Razor
over the
Hill.
weekend that we're going to
Practice
start
your
Monday or
skills in
Tuesday
battle
talking
with
to
the
China. We
boar
think we
at your
probably have to
side.
get it approved
Then
by China. Not
return
definitely,
to me.
probably. I think the deal is good.
You
for
might
both.
be weak,
For us,
but
it's
at least
money.
you're
It's
not
a lot of money.
close.
But as far as who is
Thunder.
definitively buying it, that remains
Take this
unclear
and
right
get
now.
out of
Like
my
Trump,
way.
you know, he
I've
previously
got
told
cooking
Fox
to do.
News that it's a group of very wealthy people, which, yeah, it would have to be. TikTok's U.S. operations were valued at $50 billion earlier this year, so a group of average Joes, they wouldn't be scooping it up. And also, according to Bloomberg, you have sources saying that Trump was potentially referring to a group of investors that include Oracle and Blackstone Inc., a group that also notably came very close to reaching an agreement earlier this year until China blocked it. And of course, all of this, it's coming after just the weird, wild ride TikTok's been on this past year. There was that weird limbo period because you had Biden signing the law last year and then the Supreme Court upholding it back in January, but then it wasn't being enforced because Trump delayed the deadline 3 times now. But also, like when he issued that third extension just a few weeks ago, you had reports noting that he's kind of working in this legal gray area. With, for example, the Associated Press explaining it's not clear how many times Trump can or will keep extending the ban as the government continues to try to negotiate a deal for TikTok. But then also adding, while there is no clear legal basis for the extension, so far there have been no legal challenges to fight them. With one analyst at eMarketer, Jeremy Goldman, even telling the AP that the whole thing is starting to feel less like a ticking clock and more like a looped ringtone, saying this political Groundhog Day is starting to resemble the debt ceiling drama, a recurring threat with no real resolution. Though that said, this new app, it may be just around the corner. And if that's true, the question becomes how many of the current user base will move to this new app rather than other apps. And then in addition to that, will there be a meaningful difference between the two apps? Because the algorithm is the real bread and butter when it comes to TikTok. But for now, I'll have to wait to see how this plays out. And in the meantime, let me know, would you make the jump for the Americans watching out there? But then next up in the news today, you've now got utter devastation in Texas with flash floods killing at least 91 people across the state. And we've got to talk about what happened, why it happened, and if any of it could have been prevented. And that is, you know, that death count, it may go up because on Sunday you had at least 41 people still unaccounted for across the state. But what we do know is that most of the dead have come from Kerr County, where so far they've found the bodies of 75 people, including 28 children, with at least 27 of those killed being campers or counselors at a private Christian camp for girls. And as of recording, 11 campers and 1 counselor are still missing. Right in that camp, it's located in Kerr County, right alongside the Guadalupe River, which is part of a bigger region of the state known as Texas Hill Country, west of San Antonio and Austin. That area is notably no stranger to flash flooding. In fact, it's one of the most flash flood prone regions in the country. Right in that, of course, because of the river, as well as the terrain and especially the dry, hard-packed earth that doesn't soak up much water. But also I have to say, you know, despite that, what happened this week, it's like nothing that the region has seen in recent years. The flooding starting Friday morning with a
You have
bad
done well,
storm
adventurer.
12 inches
I believe you are
in
ready
4
for your
hours,
next
equivalent
task.
to 3 months worth
The
of the
advantage
area,
a pet
making it
affords
a
you
weather
against
event
your
that,
rivals
statistically
is duly
speaking, and
noted,
not accounting for
adventurer.
climate change, that
When
could
you
be
gain
expected just
control
once
over
in a
another
typical
creature,
500
you
year
are adding
period.
to
With
your
all
own
that
strength.
rain, the
Your
Guadalupe
pet
River,
must
it
become an
rose
extension of
26
yourself.
feet in just
The
45
next
minutes.
task
Many of the
requires you to
survivors
turn
claiming
from the
afterward
land.
that they
You
received
will find
no
the next
emergency
creature in the
warnings.
waters
One
off the
telling the
coast.
Associated Press that he
Across
woke
from
up in
Senjin
darkness
Village
to
near
electrical
the Echo
sockets
Isles.
popping and ankle
Look
deep
for a
water.
spirited
Notably,
crab called the
looking into
surf
it, there
crawler.
were several
Use the
warnings,
taming
though
rod
it
to
seems
tame
that
it,
not
then
everyone saw
practice
them
your
or at least took them
skills.
seriously, which has raised questions about the system. And with that, we've seen local and state officials coming under scrutiny for their readiness and response, but also pointing the finger at the National Weather Service for underpredicting the amount of rain. And then we've also seen the Trump administration's recent cuts to the Weather Service becoming a topic of conversation, not to mention the whole climate change question. And so with all of that, I'll start by going back with the National Weather Service actually issuing a flood watch notice at 1:18 p.m. on Thursday. So there, they only predicted between 5 to 7 inches of rain. But still, they sent out additional warnings in the early hours on Friday, and they urged people to move to higher ground and evacuate flood-prone areas. And then at 4:03 in the morning, they issued a flash flood emergency, and they urged people to seek higher ground now, and saying this is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Right, and that is the highest level of flood warning available to the Weather Service, meaning that it would have triggered the wireless emergency alert system, setting off cell phone phone alarms in the region. But very notably, you had some residents telling CBS News that they didn't receive phone warnings before the flood hit, or that they don't pay much attention to the weather warnings that they do receive. And then also beyond that, it was 4 a.m. Right? Most people were asleep, and many of those kids attending summer camp, as well as their counselors, might have been without their cell phones. But then, being only around a half an hour later, at around 4:35 a.m., that the first reports of flash flooding actually started coming in from local officials, including the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. And as evacuations and rescues got underway, the National Weather Service issued additional flash flood warnings throughout the day on Friday and then Saturday after a second wave of heavy rains. Right? And actually, yesterday and today, we've continued to see flooding alerts for parts of central Texas. And with all that, what you've seen is Weather Services officials and independent meteorologists defending their forecast as timely and accurate as could be expected with the weather data that was available in real time. With, for example, one meteorologist saying that predicting flash flooding and extreme rain is notoriously difficult, and adding, the forecasting was good, the warnings were good. It's always about getting people to receive the message. It appears that it is one of the biggest contributors, that last mile. Right? And with that, while the Weather Service issued 22 warnings for Kerr County, according to a CBS News analysis, the county itself didn't send any out. And local officials so far have struggled to answer questions about why they didn't order any evacuations, especially for campers in the area along the river. Also, things that come out like the county opting not to upgrade their flood warning system 8 years ago, and they had considered putting in things like sirens and river gauges along with other communications tools, with them ultimately deciding that it was too costly, and one commissioner at the time reportedly voting against a $50,000 engineering study for the potential project and saying, I think this whole thing is a little extravagant for Kerr County with sirens and such. And beyond that, we're seeing questions being asked about whether county officials had approved development along the riverbank that may have gone around rules that were issued by FEMA regulating where homes may be built in areas vulnerable to flooding. And then also, state lawmakers, they failed to pass a bill that would have established a statewide plan to improve Texas's disaster response, including better alert systems, along with a grant program for counties to buy new emergency communication equipment and build new infrastructure like radio towers. And then finally, of course, we've seen people asking, can this be traced back to Donald Trump? Right in there, pointing to the fact that the administration has laid off hundreds of employees at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Right? We've talked about the cuts before. You had the Weather Service then saying it was preparing for degraded operations. Even had all the living former directors of the service writing a letter expressing concern over staffing levels and budget cuts. And specifically, they said that their worst nightmare would be understaffing, leading to needless loss of life. But then the agency scrambled to fill key roles when it realized it was wrong. Just last month, despite a government hiring freeze, the Weather Service announced a plan to hire 126 people as an effort to stabilize the department. Though notably, as of this week, those jobs hadn't been posted in the federal government's hiring portal. So then with that, you had key roles reportedly vacant at Weather Service offices covering the areas where the flooding had happened. Right? And so at the San Antonio office, for example, there were 2 key posts unfilled, and both jobs involved working with local emergency managers to plan for floods, including when and how to warn local residents and and with that, what I'll say is there were employees acting in those positions, and a union rep said that they had enough meteorologists to respond to the event, but he then also admitted that he was concerned about the unfilled senior positions and lack of leadership moving forward. There, you also had one prominent independent meteorologist who used to work for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and who has been critical of NWS staffing and budget cuts, saying, obviously, having both of these positions vacant for a prolonged time is not optimal and certainly could have had negative impacts at some level. But then also saying the actual warning services that NWS provided during the event were solid and provided the level of warning and alerts that the public should expect to receive for an event such as this. Right, and Trump, for his part, he rejected the idea of even looking into whether cuts had left important positions unfilled, and we had a White House spokesperson saying that claims that cuts had anything to do with how bad the impact of the floods have been were disgusting. Then in addition to that, you had Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem saying they're working to upgrade the technologies that have been neglected for far too long to make sure that families have as much advance notice as possible. So there, I'll say a notable thing is that the Trump administration's 2026 budget proposal seeks to eliminate all of NOAA's weather and climate research labs along with institutes jointly run with universities around the country. With that, you have CNN reporting that this would shut down research and development of new forecasting technologies. With that, including computer modeling and severe weather warning scenarios, ultimately affecting the prediction of events, including flash flood. Right, and this is cuts have also gone after research on climate change, which is something that, of course, has been linked to what happened in Texas. Because while it is hard to say that this specific situation is a direct result of climate change, meteorologists say that climate change will make extreme rainfall events worse and more frequent, with people like the director of the Texas Center for Extreme Weather at Texas A&M saying that the floods are exactly what the future is going to hold. And you had a UCLA climate scientist adding that this kind of record-shattering rain event is precisely that which is increasing the fastest in a warming climate. But for now, as we wait to see what comes out of Texas, what happens with the numbers, obviously our thoughts and our well wishes to all those affected. It's all just a heartbreaking, shocking nightmare scenario. But then next up in the news today, Trump's tariffs are back with a vengeance. Maybe. Probably? Who knows? But he does say that there will be no exceptions. Right? And this whole situation, it's been like a roller coaster ride. But like also the kind of ride where you're like, are we gonna go off the rails? So basically, the only casualty you need for this latest piece of news is that back in early April, you had Trump announcing that he was placing a 10% baseline tariff on nearly every country, including major U.S. trading partners. And then, in addition to that, he was imposing what he called reciprocal tariffs on certain countries, with the additional duties ranging as high as 50%. So then, after the market plummeted, you had Trump walking that back a bit.
This creature will be yours to command. Under your control, your pet will gain experience
and during that
alongside
time, you had Trump repeatedly promising that the U.S. would make trade deals with other countries and negotiate more favorable terms. He even claimed at one point that he would make 90 deals in 90 days. But, according to reports, he's only made 2 deals in that time, one with the UK last month and one with Vietnam last week. And now, right, that initial 90-day pause, it's set to come to an end on Wednesday. And so with hardly any trade deals actually on the books, there's been widespread confusion about what's going to happen next and if the rates would take effect this week or on August 1st, as some administration officials had suggested. Right, and actually, when asked about the approaching deadline over the holiday weekend, we saw this interaction between reporters, Trump, and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick.
Tariff rates, do they change on July 9th or August 1st?
No, they're going to be tariffs. The tariffs are going to be the tariffs. I think we'll have most countries done by July 9th, yeah. Either a letter or a deal.
But they go into effect on August 1st. Tariffs go into effect August 1st, but the president is setting the rates and the deals right now.
And regarding the letters that he mentioned, administration officials have said that starting today, countries will start receiving letters informing them that the U.S. will impose higher tariffs starting on August 1st. But then also, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent later clarifying that all countries that do not strike trade deals with the U.S. in that time frame will see tariffs return to the rates initially announced in early April before they were walked back. And that is incredibly significant because, as you places like Axios explain it, it's effectively a new deadline for the biggest U.S. trading partners to negotiate an alternative to President Trump's sweeping global tariffs, even as Bessent insists nothing had changed. Right? And Bessent also told reporters that even with the new date in play, he expects that many countries are going to work out deals before the original deadline, saying, "We are close to several deals. As always, there's a lot of foot dragging on the other side. I would expect to see several big announcements over the next couple of days." And today, as promised, you had Trump confirming on Truth Social that the so-called tariff letters would be going out this afternoon, with him also sharing another post yesterday where he specifically targeted the group of countries that compose the BRICS bloc, right, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, hence the name BRICS, as well as other partner states. And yesterday, you had that group of nations issuing a declaration condemning the U.S. increase in tariffs and the strikes on Iran. And while they did not mention Trump by name, the declaration raised serious concerns with tariffs and argued that they were inconsistent with the WTO rules and threatened to reduce global trade, disrupt global supply chains, and introduce uncertainty. Right? And then further claiming that the U.S. strikes on Iran, they constitute a violation of international law and the Charter of the United Nations, while calling on the UN to investigate. A move that apparently made Trump so mad that he's now retaliating by imposing even deeper trade restrictions, with him writing in a post on Truth Social. Any country aligning themselves with the anti-American policies of BRICS will be charged an additional 10% tariff. There will be no exceptions to this policy. And then beyond that, you had Trump sharing 2 very similar tariff letters that his administration sent to Japan and South Korea today, informing both countries that they would be subject to blanket 25% tariffs on all goods starting on August 1st. Though noting that they'll be separate from the additional sector-specific duties imposed on certain trade categories, and adding that if the countries agree to trade policies that the Trump administration views as favorable, the U.S. would perhaps consider an adjustment. Though then also, both letters noted that the tariffs could be either decreased or increased depending on our relationship with your country. And then also, if Japan or Korea put new tariffs on the U.S. in response, the administration says that it'll increase the baseline duties beyond 25%. And as I was recording this for you today, we saw Trump posting a steady stream of very similar letters that he's now sent to other countries outlining tariff increases ranging from 25% to 40%, with the impacted countries including Malaysia, Kazakhstan, and South Africa, among others. But also, like, who knows what's going to happen? The whole situation's very fluid. Trump's gone back and forth so many times, my fucking neck hurts. Maybe there'll be deals, maybe there will be pauses, maybe it gets kicked down the road. In the past, Trump has reversed course on his tariffs after seeing how negatively they affect the market. To that point, we saw stocks tumbling today in reaction to Trump's various announcements, with the Dow falling around 500 points and NASDAQ and the S&P 500 also seeing notable drops. You know, all of this, it's playing out as you have many economists warning that Trump's various tariffs are going to bring very serious economic consequences. Right, warning that U.S. businesses are going to be the ones to have to pay the cost of these tariffs up front. And those increases, those prices inevitably get passed on to consumers. For now, we're left kind of waiting to see which way the wind's going to blow.
There you must speak to one of our most revered
I want to say thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you right back here to talk more news tomorrow, because of course I got a brand new show for you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
The key to the authoritarian regime is the suspension of the normal processes by which you understand the world. The manner by which data and your experiences paint a cohesive, grounded picture of reality. The calling card